Yo. You two trolls catch my scimitar blade and turn snitch. Your man is your dog and your homegirl a bitch. Inquisition lies turn high priestess to witch. Burned at the stake, cooked like fish Escovitch. COINTELPRO are not pros but rookies. TikTok program makes young girls shake their cookies. Transgenders wanna be called proper pronouns. D-Wade's son turned daughter, pawn of the order. Used for the rituals, niggas wearing capris. Slam dunk champ shorts are way above his knees. By yourself with 3 masks on, that's a disease. Most of y'all are crack fiends for vaccines. Giving passes to perv clones like Weinstein while in your favorite actor had property on Epstein Island. Hollywood Kazaj, tribe of 13 wizards. Blowing lies make visibility pour like blizzards. With sins greater than 55 miles per hour, stupidity will surely get your minds devoured. Using your soul to quench the thirst of diabolic devils, then ignorance will rise past hyperbolic levels. Are you thinking, or is your mind controlled? Are you blinking, or is your first eye closed? Will you think and save yourself or fall victim? Will you fight back or keep getting your face kicked in? Are you thinking, or is your mind controlled? Are you blinking, or is your first eye closed? Will you think and save yourself or fall victim? Will you fight back or keep getting your face kicked in?
I put your head on the water and show you what's important. You need ear, of course, and more will appear. Anywhere I stand, Morocco is there. So no matter where I stand, my rights will be clear. The law of the land, signed by the air. Ooh, the true air. Ownership, caught up in color, you disown the ship. A black star with black people in it. Ship Garvey away before Julie boarded it. That's a smart plan by some hybrids. But the birds still fly with a message. A flag of culture, heritage. American Republic. Feeling like Carthage. You're driving cars, I'm riding elephants. You're thinking nothing relevant. Black before every statement, you're an agent. Need I say more? I'm in 7-Eleven. You're thinking corner stores. Human rights declared, but how they corner yours?
Are you thinking, or is your mind controlled? Are you blinking, or is your first eye closed? Will you think and save yourself or fall victim? Will you fight back or keep getting your face kicked in? Are you thinking, or is your mind controlled? Are you blinking, or is your first eye closed? Will you think and save yourself or fall victim? Will you fight back or keep getting your face kicked in?
Northgate, H2O flow, Chic, Canaanland Moors, Release Fall, Shalon Davis, salute, hot house, check it. They say they wanna learn, they only debate, referencing the truth, trust me, they only sound great. Study nationality before you question my estate. I'm not a minority, why you so late? Majority rules, here comes the test. Fact, that's my hand in the form of a V on the chest. That's a womb that is blessed like a moon and a crest. Major forever, infinite mindset. Major from birth, that's a seed in process. I'm a more that is easy to digest. Competent, never Terranilius. That is my land, never vacant. Sacred traditions, petitions for what you're not Jamaican. Westmoreland to Portmore, everybody needs more. We feel please more. Following the apostle, we should read more. I see the unseen more, we more. That's a fact. Canaanland.
They say they want to learn, complain classes are too long. Don't want it on a phone call, energy too strong. Get it from the wrong source, now they way off course. Think they must be Muslim and give up on all sports. Should give up the red meat, must give up on all porks. Won't be yelling haram when the bottles are uncorked. Eating with the spoon, use forks for tuning. Eating humble pie, no ego ballooning. Samson 2 caterpillars, got him cocooning. As the full moon hung, spiral energy moving. Up through the crown chakra, energy shooting. And told me upload classes before live YouTubing. 16,000 subscribers, 20% consuming. 80% troll pretending to be tuned in. Comment on every video, pushing the thumbs down. We'll push the link when we're live just like a clown. pouring in the incompetence, always debating. Dissing Drew Ali, but won't give their location. His image on the black banner, that's placation. Just get him out of here, Yusuf yells in frustration. We know they're playing games, we're not berating. Calling 911, scimitars penetrating. In defense of prophets and mothers abused, and newly awakened Moors, amused and confused.
I want to know why they're always quoting U.S. law instead of their own law. There is no more law. They use American law to defend themselves when they hate America and not American citizens.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he left?
Yeah.
No.
I was going to ask him a question too. Oh, well.
That was easy.
Yeah. It's the issue is that it's like I don't want to get into the Constitution. I don't want to get into any of this. I just want to ask him simple questions on how he's a Moor.
I want to know how, like Morocco, like the Moroccan news and Moroccan people are on record saying they think those people are all crazy, saying they're actually like from Morocco or the United States is Morocco. Yeah. They've said that over and over and over again, that those people are not from Morocco and the United States is not Morocco. The only person who ever taught that was Noble Drew Ali in his religion, and people in Morocco think they're insane. So what does he think about
that? Speech of His Excellency Mati Jorio, Ambassador of Morocco, at the Moorish Centennial Celebration honoring Noble Drew Ali, January 11th, 1986, the Howard Inn, Washington, D.C. It is a privilege for me and for the other staff members of the Embassy of Morocco to attend this, the Noble Drew Ali Centennial Tribute Dinner. Please let me take this opportunity to express to you our collective appreciation for your kind invitation and my personal appreciation for having been chosen to receive the Ambassador of the Faith Award. I am greatly honored. It is also a pleasure for us to be in the company of such distinguished guests as those here tonight, and to be taking part in such a joyous celebration. We are happy to bring you all greetings from His Majesty King Hassan II and the people of Morocco. By now, I have been made well aware of your devotion to strengthening the ties linking the Moorish American community to Morocco. Morocco, for its part, welcomes your interest and your work for a better understanding between us. I would like you to know that your efforts have not gone unnoticed. Your initiative is to be both respected and encouraged. As to us, we in turn have every intention of doing all possible to make our relationship a vibrant and special one. But for that goal to be met, we must also look to the future. We cannot limit ourselves to considering just the historical aspects of our relationship, thereby believing that good relations between us are a matter of fate. Rather, we should understand our cooperation to be a living entity, able to grow and open the future. It is here that we can begin to recognize the importance of our children's role. Whatever advances we make, it is our children who will have to follow through. Morocco is awaiting your proposals. We are pleased and proud to have the Moorish community as one of the bridges between Morocco and the United States as a new voice in the network of our long-standing relationship, courtesy of the Embassy of the Kingdom of Morocco. What are they talking about? What are they talking about? Moroccan people think that Moors don't know what we're talking about. It's only the dummies and the traitors who are going to talk BS like that. It's only the dummies and the traitors. And the traitors aren't only our side. The traitors also include modern Europeans who don't want the republic back. They're content with the caste system and you being on the bottom and them being white and staying on top forever. All these traitors, trolls, sellouts, whatever we want to classify them, all of them, their duty is to have the people not embrace their Moorish history, heritage, inheritance. They want them to not gravitate to that because that's the only thing that's going to save our people. And they're pulling all stops to make sure you don't know about your birthright. Don't worry about Moors who know. We already know what's up. So don't think, we're concerned with these people talking about, vaccine passports and all this stuff. Moors already know they got Indigenous exemption. It's not even a thought in our mind. We're active doing whatever it is that we do. Moors been not wearing masks and all that stuff. Ain't no protests. Marching up and down, filming that we don't have to wear a mask. Ain't no big deal. It's a big deal. They want to get you away from your nationality and your birthright. That's the purpose. They want you to not know about your nationality and your birthrights. And they're pulling all of them together on platforms with new names now to try to convince you. They have the Indians connecting with the white people who they know that they're modern Europeans, they're not from here, connecting you with the swindlers and the hoodwinkers, just to stress the point that Moors don't know what we're talking about. But listen to these people who, you go on their YouTube page, they don't even have any videos. Who are they? Where they come from? Let me go on somebody's IG and they say one post. And they've been on there for 10 years. But remember, all of this is orchestrated. Because your dumbass didn't want to ride the bikes and stuff like that, meet at your friend's house. You wanted to meet online on some video game. You didn't want to call the crew over and everybody go to one individual's house and go play. You don't want to do that. You want to have mics and headphones talking about your playing. We're playing together. You don't know what it is to have somebody get mad and unplug the thing and mess up everything for everybody, kill the whole tournament. You don't know what that is. You don't know what it means having your chain come off your bike and you got to put your chain back on because nobody else is around. You're not from that era. You're from the go in your corner era. But then in your corner, you have your Xbox and your PlayStation and your PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 20. And you're grounded with flat screen. You're grounded and you get to use the flat screen and play video games in your room all day. And putting the belt to your ass is abuse. And you're going to go call police on your parents because they beat your ass. That's the generation you people come from. The dummies. The ones who are suffering right now because they're zombies, and you can see them lining up all over the place to go get poked with stuff. They don't even know what the hell that is. And these people warned you about the zombie apocalypse. So the duty of these traders is to keep people zombies. The job is to keep you zombies. We just read you the letter from the embassy of Morocco to the Moorish Americans. And they don't sound like that. They think we're crazy and we don't know what we're talking about. So who are these people trying to convince you that we don't know what we're talking about? If the embassy of Morocco, the people who are the fake Morocco, the kingdom, not the empire, are writing to the Moorish Americans and calling them Moorish Americans in the letter, then how are you convinced that these people don't know who the Moors are? And if you are convinced that they don't know who the Moors are, more than likely you're a zombie. Just shut off this thing right now and go back to eating your pork or whatever. Don't even worry about this.
Yeah.
Even American Indians.
Yeah.
Say the same thing.
Exactly. There was a Moroccan American Day in Philadelphia, and the Moorish Science Temple of America group showed up and wearing their fezzes and stuff like that. If you go find that on the Moroccan news.
Yeah, Moorish World News. It's pretty funny to look at.
Yeah, and it's the Moroccan news there, the Moroccan news website, and you look in the comments below. There was a lot of freaking people that are pissed off. I also follow Moorish history on Facebook, and they dislike them. And then there are people who are Moors, but today they're called modern Moors, not to be confused with the old Moors. But they did have some issues with the modern Moors in these fake Moors in Ohio, and that's actually there was a news article on that and stuff like that. So these folks are after talking with a couple of people from the Moorish Science Temple of America, what they were explaining to me was what nationality means is religion.
So anybody from Moorish Science Temple of America that's putting out there or selling the idea or pushing the idea that nationality has to do with religion, that's called sellout. Because nationality doesn't have to do with religion. And when Noble Drew Ali said Moorish Science Temple of America, that wasn't some church, Moorish church for Moors to go pray. If somebody says, let's see, if Scandinavian said nationality, how come they don't tell them that's religion? How come only when Moors bring up nationality is it related to religion? But if a Turk brings up nationality, they don't call what he's doing religion. They call that nationality. If Japanese says nationality, Nobody's telling them about Japanese religion. So they only do this to Moors. The fact that they only do this to Moors should let you know they're trying to get Moors who are unconscious of what this is to think that what they say it is what it is. And of course, dumb nigger's gonna go with it because he doesn't know any better. When it was his duty to know. Because why else are you even in the husk? Why are you in the flesh if it's not to know something more than you knew yesterday? What are you here for? To rub her feet? That's it? Suck her toes? That's all you're here for? The hell out of here. Nationality is not religion. Anyone, if they have a fez on especially, if they have a turban on especially, and you ask them, hey, what's this thing about Moors? What's nationality? And they go in their pocket and they're pulling out Holy Quran and stuff like that, and quoting some quotes from Noble Drew Ali's holy book and all that stuff. Know that they're playing you. Any one of them. And keep in mind, the same ones who got proclamations and was invited to Morocco Day in Philadelphia, and then they took the pictures and stuff like that for Morocco Day, and nobody never asked the question, well, how come no other Moroccans are there? If this is Morocco Day, and this has to do with the Kingdom of Morocco over there, how come no one else that's from the Kingdom of Morocco was at the flag raising? Because it wasn't for them. And the traders that went didn't even tell other Moors about it. So other Moors could be there for the Morocco Day. Why? Because they wanted their shine. Those are the same Moors who are going to be on divorce court and all this stuff, which lets you know that they're a fiction. These are the same Moors who are going to insist that Moors who are active and say FOH to U.S. Corporation are renegade and they're street Moors and they don't follow the law, and those are those same Moors. Those are those same Moors that got the invite, quote unquote. Why only they get the invite? There's other Moors near Philadelphia who people know about. How come only this one temple got the invite? You think they're not trying to let you know something? And then they didn't invite any other Moors there so they can get all the shine and look important? Why didn't they call all the Moors worldwide to be at this Moroccan Day flag raising? I'm sure they got advance before the actual day, so they knew that this was happening. They couldn't put it out that, hey, there's a Moroccan flag raising. We want all the Moors to be there, regardless of what temple you belong to, regardless of what you claim your grand sheikh and your leader, whoever is. If you recognize this flag as your flag, we invite you to come out to the Moroccan flag raising that they're having at Philadelphia. And then Moors would have got their finance together and stuff like that, carpooled or whatever like that, and Moors would have went out there for the flag raising. But they didn't put it out there as a flag raising for Moors. That's some of their temple stuff. That's why they didn't tell anybody. And that's why Moroccan news people picked it up, and they're looking at it like, who are these people? They're not the Moroccans. They're the Moorish Science Temple. They can't use that flag because they're a religion. See how they played it?
And that's religion. The cat that was just on here, he should just um, just it just went above and beyond all of this.
He's an angry man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was angry. I didn't even get my question out. He started yelling. They never answer questions. I don't get it.
Yeah.
And
That's-
I got a friend. I got a friend that's American Indian, because I'll talk to Cujo before about being indigenous, and I tried to ask him where were the Moors? Did they coexist with Native Americans? Because they were trying to say there are no Native Americans, and they are the Native Americans, but they never recognized it. They didn't sign any treaty. They weren't in any war. They were never anywhere. They just popped up one day.
In case you didn't know, the first Indian treaty is the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. The first Native American treaty with the Europeans and land that's not theirs is not the treaties that they signed with the people after the Peace and Friendship Treaty. There's no such thing as Native Americans and Indians and all that. There's no such thing as tribes of this and all that. All of them are Moors. No, you can't say that. Yeah, we can't say that because we know people who are Mexican that say that they're Moors. We know people who are Haitian that say that they're Moors. We know people who are Borican that say that they're Moors. So if all these countries in South America, the people know without a shadow of a doubt that they're not Negro, they're Moreno and Morena. They're not Negro and Negra. They're Moreno, Morena. Then they know that they're Moors. And if they've been in this land, that would mean that there's Mexicans and Brazilians and Guyanese and all these people. They're Aboriginal and Indigenous, aren't they? They're not foreigner. They never came over here on a slave ship. Chileans are indigenous people, aren't they? So if people from Chile are... You ever wonder how come they call it Latin America, not Spanish America? How come they don't call it Spanish America? Why do they call it Latin America? Because Latin is Moorish. And Spanish is Spaniard. And you've been played. You fell for the goose laying the golden eggs. So you're buying a goose that lays golden eggs. How are you buying a goose that lays golden eggs? All these people, their job is to keep the confusion going. Your job is to not be confused. How are you not going to be confused with all this stuff going on? By listening to your heart, not using your ears. Using your heart to listen. And if you use the heart to listen, your intuition will tell you that these people are traitors. Why am I listening to them? Your own intuition is going to slap you. Your intuition is going to slap you. You know, you probably shouldn't give those guys 5,000. Nah, I'm going to give them 5,000. I'm going to get this paperwork, and then I'm going to be sovereign because lost in the sauce. Can't even find you with a strainer. You're lost in the sauce. Why? Because you don't study. You always want to be told something because you come from this fiction era. You don't study. And then if you are going to listen to somebody, you're listening to some dingbat who doesn't know anything. You're listening to guys with stones for brains. That's who you're listening to. Stones for brains guys. And the competent Moors, who are the ones you should be listening to, or they're a renegade, or they're not following the prophet because he said shit, so that means he violated the prophet. Oh my gosh, he violated the Constitution and bylaws because he talked about that Moor over there who's a pedophile. That Moor over there who's a pedophile that has children's flags flying in his videos trying to lure children, and whose son has 2 earrings in their ears and stuff like that. You know, he's talking against that guy. And he's a Moor. And then he's a Moor. So why are they fighting? Because the infighting. Infighting? What? What infighting? Since when are infighting with pedophiles? What are you talking about? Infighting with pedophiles? Infighting with rapists? Why are you calling it infighting? So we're supposed to be down with the rapists, you're saying? Moors are supposed to be down with the people who are going to go out there and slander Noble Jew Ali. But they're never going to slander Muhammad. They're never going to slander Buddha. They're never going to slander Jesus. They're never going to slander Shiva and Shakti. And they're never going to... But Noble Jew Ali, they're going to play games. And then we have to let them because, Moors, love is the first principle. So you're supposed to love instead of hate. So, oh yeah? All right. You keep thinking that. And see what happens to you. Just keep thinking that.
Yeah, see, Jay, you're talking to a native Lenape, okay? And they love to quote the Delaware Moors. And I hate to break it to them, but the Delaware Moors' name came from the town they lived in. They were Delaware Lenape, just like me, but they lived in a town called Moortown. That's it. That's the only connection to Moor they had.
So just like when we go to Jamaica, and we ask the question, why is there a Moor town in Jamaica if this place had nothing to do with Moors? Same thing we're going to ask these Delaware Indians. How come the place where you come from is not called Lenape? How come it's not Lenape town? Oh yeah, this Lenape town, but Moors come from there. Really? This is Moorish town, but Lenape comes from there. Find me some Germans that come from China. I'll wait. How come you can't find me some Germans that come from China? But you could find me some Lenape that came from Moortown? Really? Intuition should be slapping you right now for your incompetence. You should be getting slapped by your clairvoyance right now. Because if you're taking the position of the angle that these people are going as to why you're not a Moor, you might as well just stay where you're at. But shut the hell up. Ain't nothing to talk about. Where Moore said, Morocco in Indiana, Morocco in Chicago, in Illinois. So if Morocco's all over this place, how are you in denial about we're Moors? The only reason they're going to play in denial about Moors and be Delaware, Lenape Indians is because there are probably some Europeans trying to steal some birthrights. They're probably some Europeans trying to steal somebody's birthright. Because Moors would come from Moortown. Chinese wouldn't come from Moortown. Why? Why? Chinese come from China.
But they stick with that Delaware Moors, and they're the indigenous, and there is no tie into it.
Yeah, I know that, but they just.
Oh yeah, if they're so Lenape, how come the Delaware state codes is talking about Lenape driver's licenses having an M on it for more? Why didn't they put an L since you're Lenape? Shouldn't they just put an L on it? If they're Lenape and that's who they are, why is their classification on the license M, not L? And M means more. Oh, but no, they're not Moors. They're not Moors? Fine, no problem if you're not Moors. If you're not Moors, then you're more than likely a European colonist that's pretending to be Indian to steal these Moors' birthright. If you're not Moors, if you're not riding with Moors, if you're not honoring Moors, then it's a fact that you're probably a colonist dressed up as an Indian trying to steal Moors' birthright. Just like these other colonists dressed up like free white people trying to steal Moors' birthright.
They're just all crazy. I'm gonna see if he'll come back. I'm gonna hop back on if he comes back.
And for all the Indians, the Moor wanted to know who Muhammad Wainaman is. Wayanaman. Muhammad Wayanaman. For all the Indians out there. For all the Los Indios. Not Los Indios, Los Sindios. Who's Muhammad Wayanaman? That was a question to you from the chat for all the Indians out there playing around like they're not Moors. And the guy's name is Muhammad. He's the Indian guy. There's an Indian guy called Muhammad. Why are you wearing turbans? The Indian guys wearing turbans. For what? Well, they're not Moors. They're Lenape. All right.
Yeah, I thought he was going to come back.
Yeah, I see King Nan in the comments there.
Yeah, I've already put the link in there and stuff like that, so if you want to come on. So this was what you see on the screen. What you see on the screen, this is what I found, a new Moor Science Temple of America, and they said there's only 7 of them, so this is a new one, and this is about the 2020 census and why the Moors aren't on there, and now they claim that Native Americans are Moors. So it's the crazy stuff like that.
You can go to encyclopediabritannica.com, look up the word Moors. You can even look up Noble Drew Ali, and then it'll tell you the truth. It's not lying to you.
Hold up. Is this thing on?
Hey, you're on. Welcome.
All right. Please ask me any questions you want.
Okay, who are you?
I'm the king. The king that's about to show all of y'all the real information. We've
Oh,
had these
King Man.
conversations before, and I've been doing this through the chat, and I've been killing you, and you had to end conversations when I get on. So now you have me in person, and I'm going to straighten out all of your questions. So don't get funny, because when I start killing people with this information, they start joking and be like, oh, you're this, you're that. I don't want to hear that when I answer all of your questions and demolish you. So put your first question in.
My first question?
Please, yes.
Okay, are you ready for this?
I am.
Okay, there was 2 modern Moors that worked on the Continental Railroad. What were their names?
You're asking me questions about random stuff. I'm gonna need questions about why we're Moors and why we're here in America and how we have jurisdiction. Who the fuck knows who these guys were? So you're trying to do random questions that don't mean anything.
Okay, next question. Can you name 10 El-based days or Alis that were here prior to the birth of Noble Drew Ali?
So I put this in there before. Since Cases came to this landmass in 1492, right? They've been on the genocidal mission of trying to paper genocide all of the people that were here nationally. So let me tell you this. Cortez, one of the explorers from Spain, had came here in the 1500s. In that time frame, he said he saw over 400 mosques in this area. He said he saw Moors in Spain when they finished fighting them. On islands coming up here, all the adjoining islands, he saw Moors. And then when he got here, he saw more.
Okay, that's not the question I asked.
But that's the answer you're going to get. The reason they don't exist is because they paper genocided all of the Moors. They were here, existed in their capacity as Muslims. Caucasians got here, they ran all this nonsense about Indians. They started reclassifying people. They started with Indians. Where did the word Indian first appear in history? Where? Okay. What continent?
So you can't answer that question either.
I did answer it. I'm answering it right now, and I'm answering it with the question. So the first Indian appeared in the 1600s in the East India Company in England. So they came here. They brought they brought over their this company. So they started the Virginia Company as the Virginia colony. And in that colony, they started instituting people as Indians. So they started paper genocide and using it.
Okay, if you can keep...
Yeah, big mad. Big mad. Right? Big mad. Why they mad? Why they mad at the Moor? Why they mad at the Moor for? What do you do wrong? What do you say wrong? That they're so mad that they're just going to shut his stuff down. That's how it's supposed to happen. That's when you know you got him. That's when you know you got him. Right? That's when you know you got him. When they say, just hang up the thing so you can't talk while you're talking, that's how you know you got him. Because all these people who are trying to talk crazy about Moors, they know what the truth is because they had to research the truth to take their position that they're taking against it. You know, you talk about the people who go for the walk wherever, right? And then they're all amped up. And then they go out for 2 hours and forgot they got to walk back after. Right? This is these people. They forgot. They forgot that you can't bury Moorish history. You can't get rid of it. It's going to be in existence. No matter what they do, it's going to be around. For a fact, without a doubt, Moorish, anything is always going to be around. It's not going anywhere. They can't bury it. The only way that they can bury it is by you not knowing. Once you know, game's over. Forget papers and cards and all that stuff. You knowing, game's over. Over. Just by knowing. Not doing anything else. And then when you know, you'll see and find others who also know.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
I survived the Poliska Ox murder house.
When we come into this shit. Oh.
Oh, thanks.
And to the Republic for which it stands, one nation under God.
You know, they added that part in 1954.
Which part?
Under God.
Oh. And who were we under before that?
I don't know. Maybe we should ask the Moors. 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 Maybe we should ask the Moors.
Common sense was made before book sense. Bashar, and he also knows that North America is known as Al-Maghreb Al-Aqsa.
Of course, I know that. North America was known as Al-Maghreb Al-Aqsa, and it reported to the Sultan of Morocco.
The Constitution is their sanction to do business at Morocco. There's that business flag of amity and commerce. Now you understand why you have that Moorish flag, and then you have the stars and stripes. It's a banner. It's not the national flag. This is the national flag. It's your history. You're standing on your own land, trying to go to Africa, and you're standing on Africa.
And there was a relation. This is why I needed to ask you, what's the relation between the first, colonials and the governors of Morocco, because they communicated, because on paper it was part of Greater Morocco. That's known.
That's known.
How come you ain't getting this in school? Because they don't want you to know that you're standing on Morocco, that the land is Morocco, the occupational government is the United States. Distinguished from the land. It's a foreign religious corporation belonging to the Jesuits. You're under occupation. And you're referred to as the Great Masonic Secret.
The fez that the Shriners wear is the fez of the Moors. Is the fez of the Moors. Is the fez of the Moors.
Now, it is a great Masonic secret that has long been revealed that it was George Washington who chopped down the cherry tree of the Moors, erasing them from the history books and removing their nationality, fez and turbans. It was even predicted that in a few hundred years, many of them would not remember who they were or their connection to the land. It was Morocco who supported and gave rise to the independence of the United States of America as it has been recognized by President Obama.
The first nation to recognize my country was Morocco.
Morocco was the first nation in the world to recognize the United States of America 237 years ago. In December 1777. So I've come here to say thank you.
Morocco was the first nation to recognize American independence.
This treaty specifically deals with Moors. The question that may arise, How do we know that? Where the treaty says Moors, the so-called black people of the time is being referred to. The Moors were considered citizens or part of the we the people who ratified the Constitution. It says, quote, thus an act was passed in Massachusetts on the 6th of March, 1788, forbidding any Negro not a subject of the Empire of Morocco or a citizen of the United States from tarrying in the Commonwealth, unquote. For this would show that those who referred to as Negroes were actually Moors, and that they were on the same footing or status as citizens. Those who remembered that they were Moors used the Moroccan Treaty of 1787 to secure the rights on the same footing as the state citizens without otherwise being obligated members of their social equality. While those who were brainwashed into believing they were Negroes, descendants of Africans brought here by Europeans, were unprotected by the Moroccan Treaty, as well as the Articles of Confederation and the Constitution.
The Constitution is their obligation. That's not some instrument that, oh, it's interesting if you all know something about it. And if you don't, oh, it's not important. Why do you think politicians don't teach the Constitution to children in schools? Because that's the document that gives them the authority to do everything that they're doing. Without the Constitution, there is no government. Once you understand that, you understand where you need to be to protect your Moorish birthright. And the Moorish birthright is to protect the Constitution and to enforce the Constitution. The abuses that you've been getting is because that document has not been enforced. It has not been enforced because you ain't been in your proper person. Y'all been busy being colored people. Do you understand where I'm from? So concept of mind, get out of it. You're not Negro, black, and colored. And you got to be that, not that, officially. That's what nationalization process is for. That's why he did it. Do you understand? These have political ramifications. So it changes your political status in the society for the record. That's number one, because it's documented now. You see what I'm saying? So that gives you a standing at law across the world. Now, do you know what to do with that? That's the next issue. Do you know how to proceed with that? Those are the parts of the information that was suppressed by the subversives, COINTELPRO, etc., that was inverted into this movement with the FBI, CIA, etc., which is really the OSS, to subvert this movement. Having the people think it's a religious movement when actually it's a movement to bring people back into the constitutional fold of government and to enforce that constitution for the protection of all the peoples. OSS, to subvert this movement. Having the people think it's a religious movement when actually it's a movement to bring people back into the constitutional fold of government and to enforce that constitution for the protection of all the peoples. OSS, to subvert this movement. Having the people think it's a religious movement when actually it's a movement to bring people back into the constitutional fold of government and to enforce that constitution for the protection of all the peoples. But he knew that they could not be protected as Negro, black, and colored because that's a category of a caste system. It's not human. It is not human. Does not pertain to humanity. It is outside of the human family, therefore outside the law, therefore outlaws. Now we have the president, foreign diplomat, representing the United States Corporation Company. His name is Barack H. Obama.
I am proud to be the first American president to come to Kenya. And of course, I'm the first Kenyan American to be president of the United States. That goes without saying.
Barack H. Obama, knowing the problems that we have here at Morocco, and knowing that our people's heads are messed up, and also knowing that the world is turning around, and knowing that for these generations to come, that some truths have to come out.
The first nation to recognize my country was Morocco.
Right? Now, Michelle triangulates go to the Alhambra, the last stronghold of the Moors. They have pictures taken of them by the international community coming through double doors, dealing with the Kabbalistic principles, ancient African culture, higher self, lower self. Guard standing right next to him with the Moorish flag big as day. Then they come back here and sign the rights of indigenous people for these people to declare their nationality.
In April, we announced that we were reviewing our position on the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. And today I can announce that the United States is lending its support to this declaration.
For all the Negroes who said he never did nothing for them, and after he got out of office, they call him a sellout and a traitor and all that. He actually gave you everything that Drew Ali gave you to save a nation, which was the right to a nationality and to change your nationality any time. But you don't want that. You want to be Negro people, black, colored, orange people. All right. You should listen to your black president. Oh, sorry, your Kenyan American president. You didn't listen to him. You threw him under the bus because you wanted to keep playing black games. We know he got exhuming of a nation. Because the stuff he started talking about, bringing up this stuff about treaties and all that, him being Kenyan, not classifying himself as black. And don't forget, he's a lawyer too. Constitutional lawyer, mind you. So their black president was a constitutional lawyer, and these people are still not going to go study the law. They're going to say he didn't give them any check, no reparation check. So he's a sellout. When he's the only president in U.S. history to sign on to the UN declarations, the only president to sign on to it. How many presidents there been? How long the United States been around? Treaties from what? 17 whatever? So, if it's like that, oh, don't let me downplay his stuff. Constitutional professor. Forget lawyer. Professor. Professor Drew, the Egyptian adept. Professor Obama, UN declarations, right to a nationality. Professor Drew, you are not Negro, black, colored, your nationality is Moors. Professor Obama, head of the Nobu Ali, head of the Nobu Ali 1920s, telling all these people that when your time comes, there's going to be an Asiatic president and a European vice president. And Barack was the manifestation of Nobu Ali's prophecy. Somebody's been playing games with you. They're not letting you know what's really going on. Yeah, and go look up Mavi Mubarak Ali. Look that name up. See what you get. Tell me